Good morning, good morning. It's a lovely day. I'm Becker Wozat. And wait, don't forget to not step on... Is that a euphemism? Yeah, anyway. I'm just spending some time in this hayloft. Don't bother me. What was he doing in a hayloft, you might ask? Never mind that. Well, no, I was here because I was testing out something. I have to say a few things. We have moved. Yes, we have moved. We have moved our server to a new location, and I've been testing it out. You're the one. Nope, no gold. And that's good, because I don't want to mess with gold right now. Oh, I'm getting lower on bread. Gotta do something about the bread, guys. I've tested everything else out about this mod. There have been a number of things I've discovered, and I wanted to talk to you about these things. I've been keeping some of it a secret, but as you already know, if you've seen the episode, not so long ago, map location is on. Shields. Do I get a shield? I don't really want a shield, but yeah, I'll eventually get some shields. Fellowships. Oh, mine is still the only fellowship. There's two. Ah, Smile has joined. Good. Good, good, good. Oh, and he's Wild Man. Anyway, yes, the Smile has joined us. We are using a pre-release of beta 32. And tomorrow, that is to say tomorrow, the next day after I record this episode, we'll probably have a big event where we all test it out, and we'll even probably get a couple extra people on the server, maybe, possibly, because some of us can't make it, and I know Smile wants as many of us to make it as possible so we can really test out them fellowships. Yep, gotta do that. I discovered a bunch of things. I didn't want to make this... I really did not want to make this a talky episode, because after all, I got stuff to do. I think the shaders are working. You still got the problem of those guys with the outlines, but then you zoom in and it's a little bit better. Of course, who cares that you zoom in? It's still bad when it's out in the distance. Somebody's going to say, well, you should set up a blah, blah, blah. Anti-aliasing set to something else. And I'm like, no. I'm lucky that I can record this at 60 frames a second. Even if I'm only going to have this at 30 when it gets uploaded, because that's the best I could do. And I forgot why I was here. Oh, anyway, I was testing out a few things. We had to move the server to a new location, eclis.net. I've been talking good things about it. And I can't talk much about the shader problems with the edges of things. Why was I staring at a horse's ass? We don't have mirrors in the game. How can I do that? Alright.
I will be serious right now. This is me being serious.
Uh-oh. I saw that. You come back here now. Ha! Actually, I love birds. Maybe not pink birds. Pink birds? It's a reference to something, right? Don't you think this does not look like it should be in Hobbiton? I should set it on fire. Just for the insolence. But, oh well. Some people. Okay, what was I saying? Something about... I was saying something about something. It's a crazy old world. Now I've forgotten completely what I'm going to say, and I'm going to have to come back when I've said it. When I remember what it is. Yeah. Okay, so I remembered what it was, and it's still daytime. How's that? I've got good memory today. Now, why did I say I had good memory? all right. I gotta stop going hee. I forgot. Yes, we are pending the last block, and that's why I'm gonna talk right now. Maybe I should just go over there to where Mike is, so I could turn off that stupid red dot. It's like kittens will look at me and it's the red dot. All right, back to what I was saying. Eclis.net! Eclis.net! That's the place. That was the best place to get. Our servers were terrible. No, wait a minute. How does this lens flare work exactly? What is attached to the lens flare? The sun is behind. It says beautiful, but when you're over here and you don't see it, never mind. Shaders, you guys are great, but there are still problems. Okay. We used to use GG servers. In fact, it was since the end of August in 2014 that we switched over the mental block server to GG servers. And everybody was telling me, don't do it, it's terrible. But I thought, but it's cheapest. And they said, no, don't do it anyway, because you'll wish that you had better. And you had better. Switch back. But I don't like MC Pro hosting, and nobody can give me a better solution, I said. And then somebody came up with a suggestion, and I didn't like it. And I'm like, oh man, what am I going to do to that guy? Upset him like that he's not going to like me telling him that I don't like his decision. So I didn't know what to do. I was stuck with GG servers. I thought, they're pretty good. Yeah, people complain about them sometimes, but you know what? People complain all the time. People are such idiots now. No offense meant to anybody. I don't mean you specifically, but there are so many idiots out there. And yeah, you're going to say, yeah, well, there's also gullible people out there. I was not a gullible person. I went with Eclis. And that's not the mark of a gullible person. But I can tell you that when I went with GG servers, they were the best. As far as I knew, nice and cheap. And they had 4. And that's it. I say gigabytes, but people say gigabytes. I'm like, you only say gigabytes because of the word GIF. And it is correct to pronounce it GIF, but it is not correct to call it gigabytes because it uses the Greek prefix giga. But I digress because Wikipedia says that it can be pronounced either way. Did they make that? I mean, when did Wikipedia become the institution of learning that we must accept their decision like they're official? It's one thing to say if you've got a book of world records, you could say this person is the tallest, but it's like, if we're talking about like, how is a word supposed to be pronounced, I wouldn't even accept strunk and white to be necessarily the best kind of authorities on the subject. And if you don't know who Strunk and White is, that might be part of the problem, if you pronounce it gigabyte. But on the other hand, I'm not an authority either. I study these kind of word pronunciations, but I don't, for example, I don't even sound like I'm from Chicago. I say Chicago instead of Chicago, which is apparently how it is supposed to be pronounced. But at least I know that. Really? He blocked it there oh, well, yeah, fine. This is weird. Alright, here we go. No, what I'm trying to say here is Eclis has been demonstrated. Well, that was the point. I wanted to switch to Eclis back in 2015. Or 2016. I think it was 2015. When I heard all these great things about Lord of the Rings. But then I actually started playing the Lord of the Rings official server, and it was really laggy. And I thought, But then I thought, wait a minute. They're donating free. I think they were donating a free server space so that they could be counted as the official server host of Lord of the Rings. And that was my opinion of the matter. I don't know if it's actually true. Did it work? Well, it really lagged. And recently, I knew that this was coming up. I knew the server was going to expire, and I was going to have to buy a new server set up, and I was talking with Smile BC, and what did he say? He said, oh, it's actually not so bad now on the official server. Well, you know why that is. It's not so bad now because I'm not playing it and making a mess. No, let's be honest here. I don't know why it's better now. Were they getting complaints, or did they just upgrade to a better one? I wasn't paying attention. I'd already stopped playing by that time. That was a condition for being on this server. Not my server, mind you. When it was Chazrad's. When Chazrad had set it up. His map, anyway. When he set up his map, that was what he did. He said, as a condition for playing this map, you have to not play the official server. And I was like, okay. Because I get to play with Chazrad and I get to play with Mind of Mike. And I thought, oh, that was so great. And then it wasn't very long before, I rushed through building the castle, and then I'm like, oh, I haven't seen Mind of Mike around. Where is he? So we had Jeff the MC Pro, Mind of Mike. We had Xanderwich, excuse me. And I think there was one more guy, but I think he stopped playing before then. All right, so. But Mind of Mike gets stopped, and every episode, now at that point, Mind of Mike was then like, every episode was him doing his single player, and he was starting to add all that machinima-like stuff where, you know, they're role-playing talk. And I was like, well, you're spending all your time on that, and you're not spending any time on playing on this. And I kind of was a bit pushy. I knew he had something going on with his teaching job, and I should have been nicer about it. Well, the way I was looking at it was that he was working on the single player, but he was not working on this at all. And I felt he should have gone back and forth between them or something. But you can't tell somebody else how to run their server. I mean, you can't tell somebody else how to run their setup. It is there. Can't tell somebody else how to play games. Let them do things that as it tickles their fancy. Or possibly they're fast. And then he had a really great conclusion to season 2 of his single player. And by the way, if you haven't seen Mind of Mike's videos, they are awesome. Especially single player ones. He has all this great storyline, this great everything. It's just wonderful. And now he's been using other people's voiceovers. Although I guess he's just using them now from his Discord, and he's not using them. He's not saying, "Hey, Bakar, we'd like to see something from you." Well, that's fine, you know. I'm a little busy myself. I gotta cut down all this. I gotta cut down all these brown trees. Brown. It's a sedimentary layer of brown trees. See, this is the stuff turned into charcoal. Having been in the ground too long, it turns to charcoal and oil. And so I guess what I'm saying is we're just playing along here. It's just we joined Eclis. We are now hosted on Eclis, and I can now heartily recommend them as the best Minecraft server host, as far as I can tell. Now, I have a disclaimer. I've been with only 2 previous Minecraft server hosts, but this one seems to demonstrate a greater level of competence. They don't look like they're in it for the money. Let me tell you what's wrong with the last one I was on, and I'm going to give you a testimony as to how bad they were. And they don't want to hear this, but I have to tell you, my experience my experience with GG servers. At first they were great for about 3-4 days and broke my world. Had to make a new world. They didn't have a proper FTP upload. I had to use. This was the first time I found out. I found out the hard way that we had to use FileZilla for FTP uploading, or any other FTP uploader, instead of something that was built in. They wouldn't let us do that anymore, and there was no way to download the whole thing, and the backups had a limit. I mean, the backups had a limit. I mean, your map is bigger than the backup size, that's it. I was really upset. I mean, we're talking about a game here that has a lot of space necessary for maps and things. Of course it's a problem. Another problem was I said, make it a 4 gig or 4 gig. Might as well pronounce it correctly. 4 gigabyte RAM. And this was before Lord of the Rings. This was my Mental Block series. So I set that up. I ran that. It was well received. It had a maximum of 48 players. Okay, if it should ever be so that 48 players were actually on, though, they'll crash the server. In fact, 20 really lags it. Is there any way I can reduce it? Oh, well, you have to pay extra to reduce it. I'm like, but I would be reducing it. I'm sorry about my throat. Something's wrong here. I've been having potato chips. That's what's wrong. Something's wrong with the... Then, I mean, it's going to crash my server. It's a good thing I use a whitelist. But it's one of those things. I was like really, really upset. Really upset beyond belief. Couldn't turn that off. It has to be 48 players. Everybody is like, you're overdoing it. You're going to crash. And it's like, it's not my fault, man. It's those guys. They're doing it. And then it would go down. The panel would go down sometimes. Panel goes down. What do? Nothing. You can't do a thing. Panel went down. Well, you open up a ticket. Oh, there's other panels that are already down. Nodes. Entire nodes have gone down and there's no map. No map on them are working. Terrible. Terrible. And I just read the other day when I was reading up on... They were saying... It's like they were making an excuse for their really bad customer service. And they were saying... Only the CEO has access to the data center. I'm like, what? And I, the main admin, do not. I have been waiting for weeks to gain access to the data center. And the data center won't let me in right away. I'm like, but you're paying them, aren't you? I mean, if the data center is being paid, you... What is that? Is that a... That's a skeleton skull. Alright. You're paying them. I mean, they should be bending over backwards for you. And they won't even let you into the data center to reset the computer. I'm like, what? I mean, there are systems that are down. They need to be fixed. I was so furious. I'm like, gotta do better than that. And whenever that's down, the control panel is down. You can't make an emergency backup of anything. There's just so much that's wrong. Once the panel went down and I couldn't... Yeah, once the panel went down and I couldn't get it. I couldn't... It went down permanently. And they said, if you want... You know, we can't refund you for the time that you spent playing it. But your service is on that panel. And you can't request it to be moved because there's nothing to move. because there's nothing left to move. And so what you could do is you could pay for a new server, and then we'll refund you the remaining months. Well, they did. They haven't pulled any flim-flam with money. So they've got that going for them, which is nice. But, you know, it's the when we crash, we can refund your money is not exactly a good sounding business. It sounds like, let's mess around with that, huh? I was so angry. I mean, I'm like, what are you guys going to do about... Oh, and by the way, that's another thing that happened. My mouse, I had to clean my mouse recently, or I had to open up my mouse, and now I can't move properly. It gets sluggish at times. So I just about busted my mouse, basically trying to clean it. Yeah, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Logitech, you guys are great, but if you don't want my mouse to be opened, never mind. I got enough targets today. Slay 38 men of Gondor. I'm going to start killing them eventually, but I can't do that right now. If I don't rush, I'm going to run out of bread. I'm going to come here and live here instead of in Orthanc. Much though I love Orthanc, I'm almost done. Oh, and I forgot I got to put some stuff in here. Almost done for the day. Anyway, my point is Ecliz has been good, and I've only been with them for one day now. Yesterday is the day I spent all day uploading this map. All day! All day! It was like 22 hours of uploading. My internet is rather slow by comparison. I think it's being throttled too. I think AT&T does the throttling. But there is no way in hell that I would accept anything else like Xfinity. Really, there is no solution. It should be a crime that we can't have Google Fiber. It should be a crime that whatever prevented Google Fiber from setting up did. Because let's be honest here. Well, let's not even bother being honest here. Let's just say that some union or some organization or something is creating some kind of collusion or something. It's evil. It's just evil. And I've worked with the union once. I never, ever want to work with the union again. They spent all the money they took from me on stupid color booklets when black and white ones would have done just as well. Oh yes, I said it. Why did I say it? Okay, back to GG servers. Yes, the name is GG servers. They are terrible. They are run by one guy who's the CEO, who presumably, because I am told to use the excuse that he is a busy man and does have to do other things, I must presume that this is because he does not make customers his top priority. That can only be the answer. There is no other possible answer short of it's a money-grabbing operation. They want it to be good, and they made it good at first, but now it's bad. And why is it bad? Because of the way they are treating their customers. Now somebody's going to say, well, how do you know Ecliz won't do that? Well, let's see. I was with GG servers for 2.5 years. We'll see how many broken panels or whatever's they were. We'll see how much badness we have. Are we done in this area? Completely done? Okay. Wait, you got a quest? What's your quest? Golderill? No, I think I want to keep my Golderill, thank you. Did I do everything in there? Oh, there's another quest. Durnor and Guldr. Oh, yeah, that's fine. I thought there was one more somewhere. We're done, and now the solemn ceremony. On this spot in 2017. Oh, wait a minute. No, it doesn't say it yet. On this spot in, I believe it's 1412? Or was it 1214? On this spot in today, the last block is to be chopped down. Now, if I had silk touch, that would be helpful because this is made of grass. But all I need to do okay, here's how I'm going to do this. It is done. There we go. Maybe I can make like a little monument there or something. Just a little something, something. Let me double check that there aren't any more blocks that need to be broken. Now, if I have to break... looks like I've done those. I know I got more to dig in here and other stuff. Anyway, this rant is about GG servers. I'm upset at GG servers. They just said, we'll get it back as soon as possible. Sorry for any inconvenience. They didn't say anything about giving me an extra day. They didn't say anything about giving me an extra day or anything. And it was going to expire in a few days. 5 days from now at this point. Don't know when this is going to be uploaded, but it'll be 5 days after. It would have expired the 18th of April. Yeah, I think we weren't going to take those out. All right. Well, we're done here. We're going to do more things, and I have to prepare for tomorrow, where we're going to test out the fellowships and see what that implies. And I got to dig out some areas. Have I dug everything out in here? I forgot. Oh, you know what? I got to dig this out. And this is regular stone, so I got to dig that out. Okay, we'll be doing that off camera. I haven't been doing much fighting, and we're going to take care of that next episode. You want to see some fighting? You go see some fighting. Yeah, rat shag. Wait, it should be shag rat, not rat shag. Why are you rat shag and not shag rat? I don't know. We go see some... What was that? Wait a minute. I'm sliding on dirt. Yeah, wait a minute. I am sliding on dirt. That is weird. All right. Either it's a new feature of the mod. I haven't looked at all the features of the mod yet. Or it's a feature of vanilla Minecraft. Or it's more likely the shaders. And so next time, we will fight. We will fight anywhere. Mordor, where the shaders lie. Or Hobbiton, where they have a ton of hobbits.